What's the highest possible damage you can deal in one hit in Fallout New Vegas? Could you, with the right combination of perks, armor and consumables, one-shot even the most dangerous bosses the Wasteland has to offer? New Vegas and its DLCs offer a wide variety of weapons, but keep in mind, we're talking about damage struck in a single hit, so DPS is irrelevant, and I can't really work with weapons whose damage cannot be divided into single hits, such as the Industrial Hand. In my research, I saw people bring up the YCS-186 and Elijah's Advanced Lair as being exceptionally good. There's Esther as the most obvious answer, which kind of did end up being the highest damage weapon if used at point blank range, but that if pretty much eliminated the practicality of this weapon. And as an explosive weapon, it doesn't benefit from critical hits. The weapons I saw the most compelling evidence for being the highest damage were Paciencia and Old Glory. Both were supposedly able to do close to or over 4,000 points of damage. That's more than any boss's health pool, disregarding the resistances. I needed to do the math myself to see if this could be true. At first I didn't know how the game calculates damage, but the sources I found online agreed on this equation. So I plugged in the numbers. I counted for a sneak attack critical headshot, or power attack in the case of Old Glory, on very hard difficulty with all limbs broken and HP below 50%, boosted by the trait Hot Blooded, the perks Stealth Girl or Lonesome Road, Bloody Mess, Lord Death rank 3, Just Lucky I'm Alive, Eye for an Eye, and better criticals, and the consumables Psycho, Slasher, and Yao Guai Meat. YCS-186 and Elijah's Lair also benefit from the Laser Commander perk, Esther from Demolition Expert rank 3, and Old Glory from the Elijah's Ramblings, Piercing Strike, and Ninja perks, but also the Weapon Binding Ritual and 10 in Strength. We use Microfusion Cell Max Charge for the two energy weapons, Mini Nuke Tiny Tots for Esther, and .308 Hollow Point for Paciencia. This way, I got what I call the gross highest damage, which neglects the armor and resistances of actual enemies, but also the perks that affect damage against their specific enemy type. Esther came out on top, naturally, assuming at least that I interpreted the application of the different damage types correctly. But again, using it is simply not feasible. Old Glory is second place, 1,000 points ahead of Paciencia. These numbers are considerably large, larger than the health pool of the strongest bosses of the Mojave and beyond. I wanted to put these weapons to the test, with a build that goes with them and uses all the perks I mentioned above. I also equipped the build with 10 Luck, the Light Touch and Finesse perks, and the first Recon Beret and later Ulysses Duster to increase the critical hit chance, which I then maxed out with issues of True Police Stories in every boss fight. The bosses I decided to target on account of their amount of HP were Ulysses, the legendary Deathclaw, the X-42 giant Robo-Scorpion, the legendary Bloatfly, Legate Lanius, and a secret boss I will reveal at the end of this video. This is where practice deviates from theory, as the amount of damage I ended up doing to the bosses didn't match what I calculated, but it was still the highest I've ever captured on footage, which I'd like to show you. For every boss, I will provide the relevant damage threshold and enemy type specific perks. Also, this is kind of a no-brainer, but since the player can only obtain Old Glory and Ulysses Duster after beating the Lonesome Road DLC, I had to wear Joshua Graham's armor and use Paciencia when one-shotting Ulysses. Enjoy. Old Glory then made short work of the so-called legendary Deathclaw. It turns out it's impossible to one-shot the giant Robo-Scorpion on very hard difficulty, even with Old Glory. However, it is possible on hard difficulty, and extremely satisfying to watch. On the legendary Bloatfly, Old Glory did the numbers again. The highest ones, as it happens. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage to stay hidden from Legate Lanius when approaching him with melee, so I had to settle to snipe him with Paciencia. Theoretically, Old Glory would excel here as well, but you have to stay fully hidden. Caution already decreases the done damage. Last but not least, I came prepared with the secret boss of New Vegas, only appearing when spawned in with console commands, the giant fire gecko, Gojira. Gojira boasts a staggering 8000 HP, the highest in the game. Unfortunately, it is not possible with Old Glory. Paciencia wasn't more successful either. But I think all in all, just the amount of damage we were able to do against this monster is pretty impressive on its own. What do you think? And more importantly, if you have any way to dispute my findings, or manage to exceed what I believe to be the maximum, then feel free to make a video yourself and to notify me. Thank you. Take care.